Shalom everyone, welcome to this channel once again. I hope that you had a wonderful Shabbat preparation and despite of what's going on with the world today. And today I'm going to share with you pineapple upside down cake as part of my Shabbat preparation. By the way, there's a sister who asked about that seasoning that I use with my lumpia. That's Maggi seasoning, but I will not recommend, though I'm a Filipina, I will not recommend Maggi seasoning from the Philippines or Philippine made because I heard that there is a pork in the ingredients. And also, we found out just recently that Maggi seasoning from Germany, German-made Maggi seasoning had yeast in its ingredients, and so I'll not recommend that for using for feast of unleavened bread. What I used last feast of unleavened bread is Maggi seasoning from China. It don't have yeast in it, so it's safe for the feast of unleavened bread. Okay, so anyway, let's get started. So the first thing that you are going to do when you're going to make pineapple upside down cake, if you are going to use like what I'm using here, a fresh pineapple, you need to prepare it first. But if you are going to use what's this, pineapple rings out of can, what's this, ready-made from cans, so no need to prepare it first. So after you prepare your pineapple rings, let me show you. You need to, I'll show it later. You need to preheat your oven into 350 degrees. Okay. Okay, I'll just show you later because I need to reverse the camera, okay? Show you the pineapple rings that I prepare here. So looks like that. And then 350 degrees oven starting to heat it now. Okay, so I'm going to share with you in a separate video how to prepare pineapple rings if you are using fresh pineapple, okay? So for now, the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to melt about 1/8 cup of a butter, okay? Turn it on, okay? Let me show you the butter and let me get some. Okay, let's melt this out. Okay, when this will be melted, we need to turn off the heat and then add about half a teaspoon of lemon and then half cup of sugar. But then to make my pineapple upside down cake healthier, I'm using honey this time. Okay, just turn this off, okay? Then I'm going to put in this melted butter a half teaspoon of lemon juice and then a half cup of honey. If you what's this? You can also use sugar if you like, okay? So now I already put my honey in here with my melted butter and a teaspoon of lemon juice. We need to just a little bit, a pinch, about 2 pinches of salt. Okay, we put some salt in here. Okay. Okay. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do now is we are going to prepare our baking pan. Okay, so I need this, what's this? Another pan to put under my baking pan. Why? So if there's any leaking, the leaking will not go to my oven but will go to the pan, okay? So let me put my baking pan now. Then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to spray the side of this baking pan with a cooking spray so the cake will not stick in the baking pan. Just the side, because the bottom we don't have any problem there, because it's the butter who will work with that, so the cake will not stick in there, okay? So okay, the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to put into our pan the mixture of melted butter with half cup of honey and half a teaspoon of lemon juice with pinches of salt into our baking pan. Okay, so next thing that we are going to do is we are going to arrange our pineapple rings into our baking pan as you have seen. Then next, we are going to work with our dry ingredients. Our dry ingredients are 2 cups of sifted fine apple, 2 cups of all-purpose flour and a tablespoon of baking soda. I'm using baking soda, and then a half teaspoon of salt. Okay, so we're just going to mix that, and then I'll show you after I'll mix it. Okay, so again, 2 cups of sifted all-purpose flour, and then a half teaspoon of baking soda and a teaspoon of salt. So just set aside your baking pan and work on with next thing, by the way, is to work on with your dry ingredients. 2 cups of sifted flour, add a tablespoon of baking soda in there, and then about a half teaspoon of salt in there, and then just mix that. Okay. Okay, so I mixed already the dry ingredients. Then we are now going to start with our wet ingredients, and our wet ingredients comprise of half cup of butter. I sliced it already, and then a half cup of honey. You can use sugar if you like, and then 3 eggs, and then half cup of olive oil. You can use any vegetable oil you like. You can also use coconut oil, and then a teaspoon of this vanilla extract. Okay, and then a half cup of pineapple juice. Okay, so I'm going to add this later. I'm going to work on first with this butter, honey, and eggs, oil, and vanilla extract. So I'm going to mix that with my mixer, and then I'll try to show you after I can mix it. Okay, so when you mix your butter, by the way, you need to work on with butter first, and when you mix, just try to scrape the side and the bottom every now and then to check to avoid lumps. Okay, and what we are looking in mixing our butter is a consistency like this, that's really soft. Okay, and no lumps anymore. So work with butter first, make sure it's well mixed and no lumps anymore, and then onto the butter we are going to add the honey or the sugar, half cup of sugar or honey. Okay, I'm working with honey. Okay, so that's the thing that we are going to do next. Okay, So after we mix the butter and the honey, we are going to add now our eggs. Okay. I'm going to add them all at once. Okay. There we go. Okay. After putting the eggs and mixing it, then we are going to add now oil and half teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay. So after what's this? Putting your olive oil and vanilla extract, just mix it and then add half of the dry ingredients and then the juice, the half cup of juice, and then mix it and then add the remaining half of the dry ingredients, and I'll show it to you after I can mix it. Okay, let me show you now our cake mixture after we put the half the half of our dry ingredients into that wet ingredients that you work with, then add the half cup of pineapple juice, and then add the remaining dried ingredients. After mixing it, this is now how it looks like, and this is the consistency that we are looking, that it would be ready now to be put into our baking pan to be baked. Okay, as you can see that it's nice and smooth. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put this cake mixture now into our baking pan and get it ready to be put in the oven. Okay, now let me show you how our how does it looks like after I put the cake mixture in the baking pan. Okay, and we are going to bake this cake for about 40 minutes, for 40 minutes rather. But if your oven had a fan inside it, then you can cook it for 35 minutes. And by the way, if you are using what's this cake mix, you can bake it just for 30 minutes. Okay, and just stop that before putting it in the oven. Okay, so this is now how our upside down cake looks like after 40 minutes. Now what we are going to do this time is we're going to cool it down for 20 minutes by covering it with a plate. Okay, I'm going to cover it with a plate and let it cool down for 20 minutes. Okay, and after that I'm going to flip it and try to show it to you how it looks like. Okay, so after 20 minutes, we're just going to scrape the side of our pineapple upside down cake. Just scrape it like that. Okay, scrape the side. And then we are just going to flip that, okay, by covering a plate on the top of it and just flip that. By the way, other who make pineapple upside down cake, they do caramelize their sugar and what's this butter first. I don't do that because in a way it will caramelize as we try to bake our cake. So what's the use of caramelizing it first? Okay, so let me try to flip it now and then try to show it to you how it looks like. Let me try to show you how it looks like. This is now our pineapple upside down cake. You can eat it or you can put it in refrigerator first, refrigerate it to cool it down before eating, but this is good to go. You can eat it already, and I hope that you're gonna give it a try. Until next time, yes willing, shalom.